Hello, everybody. It is the Dark Conservatarian back with another Dark Cancer Hangout stream. And hopefully, Jeeps Creeps and Freaky Faith Reads, a couple of people that I have rarely got to talk to ever, will join us today because I hardly got the chance to actually get fully acquainted with them. The most that I got acquainted with them was Jeeps during that one stream on the Jassa Titties channel. And that was pretty much a shit show, that particular stream was. But for right now, I am with a personal friend of mine who goes by his internet alias of RK2K Dragon. Say hello, RK.
Hey guys.
Yep. So far in the stream, we actually had somebody that was waiting on us. And I wanted to start this right now. Oh, okay. So we got S-Man joining us. That's cool. But in the chat, Mindcap Kid says hi. When is this going to start? Yeah, it's just been waiting in the chat. So if you have any questions, and if you're still there, Mindcap Kid, go ahead and ask away. But how's your day, S-Man?
It's going all right. Caused Cult of Ham to have an aneurysm because, oh my god, it was great because we got into this debate and he kept cutting me off. So me, Blue, and a bunch of other people just started muting him until he just
J Will chair.
Yeah. Oh, we were just it's like if you're gonna cut me off, then I'm not gonna take you seriously. So we just muted the fucker till I lowered his audio and then I raised it back up, but the microphone stopped working, and then he got like really, really pissed, and I was just dying the entire time.
I'm trying to contain my posture here, but I just can't. But yeah, I witnessed a portion of that, and that is the most angry that I've ever seen Cult of Ham, honestly.
I was dying. Just I couldn't stop laughing. I had to mute myself a few times. Like, I would have caused the audio to get all fucked up if I wouldn't have muted myself.
Oh,
sounds legit.
Why, you were getting rather angry yourself, S-Man, to the point you wanted a shot in the mic?
No, I was laughing too hard, is what I'm saying.
Oh, it would have gotten as bad as it would have gotten as bad as the one time that Ham laughed at Humane during that hot take on abortion, right?
Yeah, you're damn right it would have.
What's this that I see right here? This video.
Oh, I'm making the thumbnail. I make my thumbnails in Filmora.
Wait, whoa. Was this talking about some of the stuff that went down post Jostlegate?
No, no, I'm re-uploading the stream where we all confronted that little bastard.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I see. So, actually, is it me or are you actually using the video editor to do your freaking Photoshop?
That is what it is. I actually use Paint if I am if I'm trying to if I'm gonna trace something for like green screen and shit. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the way that I do it, actually. I mean, I know I was asking you for like a good Photoshop program, but ultimately I just decided the cheating and easier way of doing it was using Filmora, Wondershare Filmora, the video editor, and like screen save of what I was presenting in the video editor and save that on Paint program, cut it down and save it on Paint program. It works effectively, at least. I mean, I got better thumbnails now than I did in my earlier days of my channel.
Yeah.
Even better than the thumbnail that I have of my response video to Superwoman on guns. I mean,
the first one or the second one? The second one, I just sent it to you because I'm like, she's making a funny face.
The second one, like the first one on guns, I unlisted that because I thought, oh man, this video ain't going nowhere. So, and then I decided to like do a remake of that, do a more kid-friendly remake of it, and lo and behold, the remake is doing far more successful. It's got 16 likes and 3 dislikes. Those 3 dislikes are, of course, from Jungle Blood Sports. I love it, S-Man. I just received the notification.
Yeah. But now to actually put the thumbnail in the video. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what I will call these from now on. Like if it's like if it's a debate where there's multiple sides, I'll call it a jungle debate.
Except I don't think there was like I don't think there was like multiple sides to that. There was only two sides to it. Just there was multiple people on one side.
It was a mix of it went from being blood sports to a conversation, and it was a mix of the two repeatedly. Also, I think calling it jungle blood sports is accurate because the wild Josso was hunted to extinction by the end of the fucking video.
I thought you was thinking of Guns N' Roses right there. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. You know.
Damn, I should have went with that.
Have you ever listened to Guns N' Roses, by the way?
A couple times. I remember that one of the first times I listened to one. There was this TV show. They do mysteries and shit, and they mentioned one of the songs, and one of the lyrics actually got used in a criminal case. So I'm like, oh, I got to listen to this. And I went, and lo and behold, I went from that song itself to like the entire playlist. I'm like, I didn't really pay attention to the songs' names, but it was pretty damn good. It was rather nice.
Yeah, I shared November Rain to Lapis, as you saw I did.
Yeah, and then I saw your Google Plus, which made me fucking cringe.
What?
Yeah, your Google Plus. It was so cringy. You're singing some lyrics or some shit. Let me see. I'm gonna go to your Google Plus. But it was super funny. I'm like, what the hell is this? I actually commented on it.
I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
Let me see. The Dark.
Google Plus, and I sung some lyrics. Like I remember that I like sung some lyrics from a song by Bon Jovi in one of my Let's Play Minecraft streams. What's up, RK?
I just wanted to say that I like this video on Zoe and everything. I'm glad you linked me to it.
Thanks.
DarkyCon.
DarkCon. What the fuck?
Okay. You're talking about that. All right. That. I wasn't singing right there.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. American Josh is in the chat.
Oh, shit.
He says I feed fap to Michelle Obama any day. Well, everybody's got their kinks, Josh. Everybody's got their kinks.
I tweeted that picture where his mom came in the room and he smiles at us. Oh, my God. I was dying. I was just dying. I'm like, oh, my God.
It was kind of creepy, actually, the way that she was like standing in the doorway, like that. Somebody could like take that picture and use it for a creepypasta or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
This is no offense to anybody's mother. I'm just saying with that.
Yeah,
I think it was more the camera's fault than anything. But yeah,
the most memorable quotes of this whole thing is well, one of them was Jossman yelling, "Yes, it does, you fucking retard." Then he just starts admitting personal shit. I'm like, why are you doing this? I'm only 300 pounds, he says. What?
Only 300 pounds? Only? There's no only to that. 300 is still too much, especially for his age.
Yeah. Oh my God, I was just dying. Just laughing my ass off. I actually made a 10 or 13 minute cut down of my personal favorite parts of that whole mess. It was just
like,
fucking...
are you uploading the stream in its entire raw form with a thumbnail, or are you like?
I just did.
Okay, well, was you gonna like upload also that video that's like a compilation of your favorite parts of that stream?
Yeah. Like.
Oh shit! He says he well 350. I just got on the scale yesterday. I love it when you get hysterical, S-Man. Oh, RK2K, it says in the public chat, I'm too... Oh. Okay. He says not really, but I'm 180. Okay. I see.
Oh my fucking god, that is hilarious. Oh, and that dude called and Johnson called me
Oh,
fat.
shit.
It's like, dude, I myself am 170 pounds. I've lost quite a bit of weight in the last few weeks, just doing
And
shit differently.
Josh, as far as what you said in the back part of this of today's Twitter spat, saying that you are going to quit, well, guess what? I'll believe it when I see it, pal.
He's gonna quit letting Keeper Cash peg him for free.
he's gonna start charging them.
Yeah, except they'll give him fake paper money.
Anything above 160 is fat to me. I didn't mean it in a bad way. What the fuck? On a good day, I weigh over 160, and yet I'm not fat. It's more like my muscle quantity varies. Like on a bad day, I would weigh like 158. On a good day, I weigh 165. It varies for me with my eating habits and whatnot.
Yeah, Darkcon is a skinny motherfucker.
Yes, I am, and so is RK2K Dragon.
Yeah. Also, when I was mocking Bob Jossman, I was mocking the fact his face looks so deformed and degenerate. Degenerate. Holy shit. Seriously, his face looked like a lopsided basketball.
Oh.
Even Lapis was like, "What the fuck is that thing?"
Yeah.
Her video is hilarious.
Oh man, and you would think that she would come from the crowd of where it's a bad thing to be body shaming people, but no, even she was all like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, honestly. Also, Justin, man, if I stood right next to you, bitch, I'm skinnier than you, so you can call me fat all you want, but I'd say look in the mirror, except you can't fit through the bathroom door.
Okay. RK says, I'm going to quiet life. Was that supposed to be a typo or something, RK? I don't know. And, Aspie says, be right there. And he is here. And, say hello, Aspie.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, you guys said that at the same time. I'm doing very good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I was just,
pretty good, honestly.
I was just dying from yesterday because I was just laughing so much. And then I got to trigger Cult of Ham. And I mean, I was just dying. Blue Republic, Amanda, all of them are awesome for triggering him.
He was, yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, he probably deserves some sort of punishment. I mean, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that.
It was so right fucking hilarious.
Based Trap is hilarious.
You're talking about Kayla?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. BTK. Yeah. American Josh says, I already left their Discord. Mm-hmm. Okay. And told them I wasn't feeling it and deleted the convo. Okay. Okay. Okay, Josh. Okay. RK2K Dragon says, no, I'm fat. Yeah, and I'm Santa Claus. I'm fat. I'm fat. You know I'm really fat. Oh.
So Josh says, I got buns. Aspie got Asperger's. I feel. Oh my God, Aspie! I feel so. Oh my God.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
So Aspie, Josh says, and I feel sorry that I have to repeat this for you. Josh says, I have buns. Aspie got Asperger's. Oh man.
You got really soggy buns. You don't got the type of buns that
Hey Josh, I just want to say something. I'm not gay, but if I was, S-Man wouldn't be my type.
Nor would Josh.
Honestly, I'm not gay either. Honestly. Oh my God, the thumbnail choices are hilarious for the compilation. Oh my God.
You want to screen share or not?
I'll screen share because Aspie doesn't know this, but we appeared on Brandon's channel on Friday, just mocking Justin. Look at the thumbnail choices I have for the compilation. Look at this fucking face.
Okay, this is the compilation that you're. Wait, this is the compilation that you're uploading.
That face was literally like, "Ooh, you want to touch my tra-la-la, my ding ding dong."
I don't know which one. I'm gonna go with this one because Owen, if he sees this, he'll be like, "S-Man, what the fuck did you post on your channel a few days ago?"
Owen's back in the Poor Bastards?
No, thank fuck.
Did everybody like some random geek and fuck, I'm trying to find the words. Did some random geek, Google it, and Owen all leave that chat?
Google it. I think she did it. Let me go check.
Before I had left that stream, the main reason as to why that I had left that group chat is because I did not like the fact that I was just surprisingly threw it in. Despite how I looked in the group list just moments before and noticed that, oh, Owen isn't here, so I can feel just a little bit more comfortable being in here. But then I was like, still, I don't like the fact that I wasn't even asked, hey, do you want back in the Poor Bastards Prime chat? Yeah. Hello, Humane.
Hey, Humane, what's going on? Humane, are you there?
Did you plug in your mic before you joined? If not, then I press F to pay respects in the chat.
All right. I'm trying to find. Okay, I guess he's trying to like fix the problem, but oh well, whatever. I'm trying to find where the fuck it.
All right.
Humane, speak to us.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear your Irish Asian accent.
That's Irish. What?
You almost sound Irish-esque. Your accent does.
Irish-esque?
Yeah,
No.
Irish-esque.
No. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no Irish in it, except for when I'm trying to be Irish, right?
Humane is a leprechaun. He's a short motherfucker.
You gotta talk a little more musical to be Irish there.
Maybe it's just because of the fact that you're so damn short and small in general.
Oh, yeah, it's the leprechaun perception.
Yeah. What did you say you were 4'11" or something?
Yes, I am 4'11". No, I am 5'4".
Yeah.
I am not a dwarf.
Hey, Humane, this may be a little bit
I'm
off the
just
cuff,
short.
but you're kind of the intellectual type. What do you think of veganism?
Yeah, I've made a video about veganism.
It's 52 minutes. I actually watched it.
Yeah.
I remember his video got posted in Ask Yourself's Discord, and they're all like,
Really?
They looked at the title. They didn't even click on it. They just saw the title, and they're like, oh my god, he thinks that plants have sentience. I'm like, oh my fucking god. I was dying.
Yeah, I don't think that. Well, plants have sentience, but not to the same extent that animals have. Because if you look at what sentience is, plants do react to
their environment. Yeah,
to their environment. That is, if you look at the definition of sentience, is the. So yeah, there's like we talked about this when we were talking about abortion and all that sort of thing. But sentience means the ability to sense the outside world and react according to it.
Right.
It's not. It says feelings, but the feelings can be interpreted two different ways. Like feelings is in emotionals, but given the definition of sentience, what it's talking about feelings is: do you have senses? Can you perceive the world around you and react accordingly? And plants do. Plants have a circulatory system. They bleed and clot. That's exactly what sap is. It's the same thing as your blood clot, only it's the plant's version of it.
You can cause plants to have. You can cause fruit to have bruises.
Yeah, plants breathe.
I wonder if, like, Venus flytraps, they digest the insects that they eat into just soil.
No, they don't digest it into soil. They digest it into nutrients, same as your stomach. They break it down into its smaller parts, and then
I mean, like, what comes out the other end? Like, for us, it's shit, but for them, is it like soil or something? I don't know the biology of plants. I'm just asking out of curiosity.
No, plants don't have excretion systems. Like, they don't have a way of getting rid of toxins.
Okay.
So if there is any kind of impurities, they just get stored in their fiber.
So okay.
In a lot of animals as well, toxins and impurities can be stored in your fat cells.
Right. I was about to say that it seems that in a way, Venus flytraps are more advanced than us, but then you say the toxins are actually stored into their system still. So
pigs are the worst.
that kind of brings some negative implications.
Yeah.
Well, usually those types of things don't affect plants as much because there's very few things that are actually toxic to a plant, but and usually that's going to lead to like a dead branch or something like that, where that's stored and it just, okay, that one limb is useless or something like the amount of things that can actually do damage to a plant along those lines is very, very minimal.
Hey, by the way, I just got to quickly say, S-Man, to Josh's credit, at least he has a sense of humor, because he was all like, I'd fat to her death any day. I can get the reference right there. It's referring to how he, jacked off to Barbara Bush on the week of her death. In the week of her death,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean week of her death?
Yeah.
But anyway,
What?
I was going to say that
I said the week. Like, I can't remember if it was like on the exact same day, but it was like within 7 days or within under 7 days of her death. Sorry, were you saying something, Aspie?
Yeah, I was going to say about the whole plant sentience thing. I think a lot of people in the Ask Yourselves Discord would say something along the lines of, yes, plants do react to their environment, but at the same time, they don't have the same level of sentience as an animal does. An animal has a will, has more of a will, and a sort of has a consciousness, as I think is what they would say, something along those lines.
That's typically their argument, but I go into that in my video talking about all the different levels of sentience, talking about somebody who's sleeping, somebody who's in a coma, a small child who isn't completely aware of their surroundings. There are too many factors to say that sentience is what, gives something the right to life. And the other thing that I've come to the realization after making that video is the right to life comes with it. And I said something along the same lines, although not this concretely understood. The right to life comes with it the responsibility of recognizing the right to life in other people.
By the
Animals have not proven that they might be able to recognize the right to life of their own children or their own family members, but they don't recognize the right to life of anything other than themselves.
I also want to add, you go talking about different levels of sentience, or how vegans might say that plants are not do not have the same level of sentience as an animal. Well, here's the thing: chickens don't have the same level of sentience as humans. So there was the word cognizance that me and Warcorpse threw on about a lot in our second debate on abortion. Well, it wasn't so much of a debate; it was more of a discussion. It was far less of a cage match than the first debate, but it's still
cognizance is very similar in meaning to sentience. It sounds like that's just a new way to say the same idea.
Well,
the same idea that's represented in cognizant is: are you aware of your surrounding? Are you aware of your actions?
Let me look up the two definitions, because I think there might be a nuanced difference, but they might be slightly synonymous to each other.
Yeah, they are very synonymous. I would say almost directly interchangeable.
Oh, you guys are still talking about veganism? Because if you guys are, I'm having pork chops for dinner, so the vegans are going to be.
I'm having hamburgers.
I'm having shrimp tacos.
Okay, so
that's
to sum up my overall thoughts on veganism, I do not have a problem with that particular diet. I think it is actually better than a lot of American diets, because a lot of Americans eat a lot of processed food. We eat a lot of preservatives, which is not good for our bodies. You've heard the old phrase, you are what you eat. Well, if you're eating crap and you're eating abundance of sugar and you're eating abundance of preservatives, well, guess what? Your cells are becoming what you're eating, and your cells are becoming preserved. And this is something that's been thoroughly documented, is they don't always embalm a person after death because there's so much preservatives in our system that our bodies stay intact longer than they would otherwise.
Your body is literally one big giant Twinkie.
Yeah, it's that bad. Our cells are so saturated with preservatives that a lot of times at the funeral home, that person isn't embalmed, and they're buried without being preserved in through that. Bodies used to need that, otherwise they would start to decompose really quickly.
Yeah.
I just want to say to RK, by the way, this isn't a gay porno. Nobody wants to know about your cream that you have
Oh my
filled with.
fucking god.
All right.
Yes, you do.
But-
You want to know, especially Darky Con. You
No.
love the green pills.
No.
All right, but like I said, my overall thoughts on veganism is I think it's a healthier diet than what most Americans have. I don't think it's the most healthy diet. I think it is very inefficient when you're talking about nutrients and how much energy is required and how much prep work, how much food you actually have to consume to keep your energy levels and your nutrition levels where they should be.
Maybe.
Actually, I'm looking into the keto diet. My brother Sinister is on that diet currently, and he seems to be doing really well.
Was that like a low carb diet?
It is low carb, low sugar. It is mostly meats and vegetables. So
isn't that what Jordan?
Yeah.
I think that
Yes.
everybody says, "Oh, Jordan Peterson's on nothing but an all beef diet." If you hear what he says, he's basically on a keto diet. He's on
Yes.
He said
he's on
chicken,
the keto diet. Yeah.
chicken and greens. Chicken and
Yeah.
greens. That's what. And when Vadim Newquist said, "Oh, he's on a dangerous all beef diet," I'm like, no, he's
No.
not. He's on a-
So there's a lot of vegetables that go into it, as well as oils
High
and
quality
fats. So that is a huge part of the diet as well. Not just meat, but the fat in the meat. And that's something I alluded to in my video. Because fat, although it's how dare you, don't eat fat, don't eat saturated fats, don't eat fats, they're bad for you. And you're like, that's where an animal stores its excess nutrients. There's more nutrition in the fat of an animal, like a piece of steak or a piece of beef, whatever. There's more nutrients that your body can use inside their fat cells than there is in the meat that you're eating. So fats are a store of energy as well as nutrition.
So
That's
ribeyes,
probably
so
the
ribeyes are
healthiest.
healthier than sirloins.
Sorry, what was that?
So ribeyes are healthier than sirloins.
I don't know. I guess
know.
it depends on the cut of meat, or
Well-
like how much fat content and what the actual.
Well,
There's also how the animal is raised, because if the animal is raised on a whole bunch of preservatives and
well, of course, but I'm
Yeah.
talking as a general
if
rule
you're
because
talking
you're
about
talking
the same animal, which cut of beef is probably better for you? Probably.
Well, I think
yeah,
the
I mean,
best cut. What has been said, the highest quality cut of beef is the backstrap, the fillet. That's
Well,
considered
that's the tastiest and the most tender or whatever.
also
but
the
as far
prime rib.
as,
There's the prime rib also.
Yeah, but as far as nutritional value and content, it's probably the fattier part of the animal.
Yeah, they
by
don't
the
call.
way, I gotta ask, like, am I spelling this right? Because I do not know if this is the right definition that I am getting right here. Cognizance, a distinguishing mark or emblem, like
No,
what?
that doesn't look right.
S-man.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stream and it shows it loud and clear.
Darky
Awesome.
Khan has the big gay. It's spelled with an A, not an E.
I know that's the joke.
I agree.
Let's see.
Uh,
I'm not sure why that definition. Okay, yeah, it's ZANT. Not. I think you spelled it with an E.
so I spell it with a CE at the end.
Oh no, so it's COGNIZANT.
Hey, Ehumane, do you think Brett Kavanaugh is going to get into the Supreme Court?
Yes, I think that all this hysterics and theatrical nonsense actually is going to make it more. So yeah, gonna make it more.
Likely.
It's gonna make it harder to fight keeping him out. That's
Yeah.
they have done nothing.
It's like quicksand.
And-
It's like quicksand. The harder they fight, the worse it gets.
Yeah, because now everybody's looking at us like, dude, anybody who opposes this guy is out of their freaking mind.
Honestly,
The thing is, there was even like this one Obama supporter that said that Brett Kavanaugh is the best choice that you're going to get with the circumstances, and kind of giving the message that the Democrats should just go ahead and accept Brett Kavanaugh. Otherwise, Republicans might go for somebody that's a little bit more extreme and somebody who she respects less. Like, what's the name of the girl? Anyway, I'll get to this
Sandra Day
later.
O'Connor.
Well, Yeah, everybody is acting like he's, basically, like he's a super far right, like
He's Hitler.
I mean, not quite Hitler level. They haven't called him that, to the best of my knowledge, but they've said that he's going to kill women, and it's like, oh, that's the end of the LGBTs and women. You're like,
as far
but
as
he is extremely moderate across the board. And you're like,
I mean, especially on Roe v. Wade, like he seems to give the position that Roe v. Wade is here to stay or something. I mean, ignoring what his personal beliefs might be about abortion, but he was almost taking the Austin Peterson approach to the issue, saying, I'm pro-life, but Roe v. Wade is not going away. It's a non-issue to me or something along that.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. As a judge, he doesn't get to go back and retroactively remove these laws. A case has to come to the Supreme Court for them to make a decision on.
Okay, so...
That's...
okay,
they don't get to. It's not like the legislator. And it's the other thing is even the president doesn't get to decide what comes across his desk. He can push for an agenda, but if Congress is focused on something else, he doesn't get his way.
Yeah, now it's starting to click to me more. I mean, it's the House of Representatives that actually gets to amend the Constitution and put in whatever amendments they think should be put in.
Bills have to start at the House of Representatives.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, remember that song? I'm just a bill. Yeah, I'm only a bill. Yeah, that song is like Schoolhouse Rock taught me more about politics than our current politics is.
Yeah, I actually found an article about a senator who, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. A lot of people are demanding that she votes against his confirmation. The article says Alaska natives are urging the senator to vote no. She owes her re-election to them. So apparently, this might cost her Senate seat if she
votes yes.
If she votes yes. And I've looked at her electoral history. Every time she gets elected, it's like by these very narrow pluralities, like really close.
Okay,
but I think Kavanaugh is going to make it because I don't think they have enough to fight against him. And if they do, that's it. All of their leverage will be exhausted at that point.
Yeah, here's the thing about the Democrats. So while all their points, I disagree with their points. I think they're stupid. The Democrats are masters at organization, masters at at creating a political machine. They have been ever since the late 1800s, and they're still really good at it. I think if you go back, they're like the oldest political party in U.S. history. I mean, they were originally called the Democratic Republicans. Now they are now just called the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
The right-wing part, the sort of other parties that you had. First, you had the Federalists, then you had the Whigs, and then you had the Wait, I think I might have skipped a few.
Technically, I think there was. Party. There was technically never a Federalist Party, but I just want to mention very quickly, Lisa Blatt was the name of the one woman that was promoting for Brett Kavanaugh from a Democratic standpoint.
Yeah, because some of the Democrats are realizing, if we fight this guy, the next candidate, we're not going to be able to stop. So he's going to, if we fight this guy who's pretty moderate across the board, the next candidate is going to be more right-leaning, and we're not going to have any more rounds in the chamber.
Imagine if Ruth Bader Ginsburg died tomorrow. Imagine if she just dropped dead. Imagine the amount of screeching that would happen on the left side.
I wouldn't do that because you might get found and prosecuted for causing it. So just say it.
Well, Either she's gonna die.
I would kind of tone down on that type of language, Aspie. Just saying.
It was just a joke. It was just a joke.
I'm thinking. Look, if you watch her behavior, either her health is in decline or just her mental state is in decline. I don't know if that's. I mean, she can't have that much longer because she's already
85.
Yeah, 85, and there's a huge host of memes related to her falling asleep in court, and you're like,
right?
Is there something we can do about incompetency? If she's been asleep through most of the trial, how can she possibly make a decision if she's missing half of the information?
She might. I mean, it ultimately might be a fact that she doesn't have much longer on her lifespan. But it's just I did not like the way that Aspie delivered it. I mean,
Yeah.
tone
I'm
is.
so, I'm very blunt. Sorry,
But
I come off as
imagine, but I think that whether it might be in Trump's first term, but if not the first term, by the second term, I don't think she's going to make it through the second Trump term.
be like she's
Whether she is, has to step down or retire, or whether she kicks the bucket, she's not going to make it another, 6 years. It's like
this is
if
weird.
she does, it'd kind of like be kind of a miracle, maybe.
Yeah, this is
Alright,
weird.
there's a
How
point
the
you want to make, S-Man?
Yeah, I'm just saying this is weird. How the hell does a Republican in a really Republican state? How do you not get a majority of the vote of your own state?
the Democrats are very organized and they're very energized by their opposition to Trump. So
Okay.
and the machine, and as I mentioned before, the Democrats are really good at organization, advocacy, and pushing and driving a political machine. So yeah.
Can you imagine you win public office, but you get like less than sometimes 40% of the vote to get you there? Like that has to get like really close. Hell, the Democrats came in last place in Alaska. Damn.
What is this? Libertarian, independent? Man, got quite a few libertarians up there.
Yeah, yeah. Alaska is really well known for supporting third-party candidates. Yeah.
Gee, I did not know that much.
The Democrats are going to have a hard time campaigning on something for the midterms. They're actually having a hard time because the economy is doing very well. We have like over 4% GDP growth. All they can really campaign on is "We hate Trump" or some sort of social issue or something.
Yeah, the budget issues.
They are losing support from moderates, and they are losing support from their base, their constituents.
Yeah,
because they've gone so crazy, and they're backing these extremists like Ocasio-Cortez. And regular Democrats are looking at this like, that's not what I signed up for.
If I was a Democrat, like when I was a Democrat and after the election, I'm like, this party is shit. I mean, I'll still hold the values I hold, but I'm not signing my name to this, so I left. And I honestly don't blame anyone who does leave. It'd be nice if the progressives split from the Democrats, if the conservative Democrats split, just to let the party collapse and die. Honestly.
And despite not having all that much coverage, the walk away movement is growing. That the walk away movement, it's a hashtag walk away. That's about the Democratic Party. People saying, no, the Democratic Party doesn't represent me anymore. I'm no longer supporting it.
Hey, Darkon, did you see Progressive Voice's video where he's like calling that a fake movement? That just sounded so salty.
What a fake movement?
Walk away.
Walk away. I'm sorry. What is walk away again? Refresh my memory.
It's Democrats leaving the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it is a lot bigger than what's being advertised, because the coverage of it is being suppressed. The hashtag walk away, even though it's on Twitter and YouTube, it's not trending. Although if you look at the metrics, you're like, this is a pretty popular topic, and a lot of people are. Because this is the same thing that happened before Trump in 2016. There was Democrats for Trump. It was there was a lot of homosexuals. There was a lot of gay rights activists and a lot of black support that were for Trump. And the Democrats just kind of, oh, no, never mind. That's not happening. That's not happening.
At least
Diamond and Silk, they got to meet the president. And they were one of those big people championing for Trump in the black community.
At least more than usual, anyways, because it's not like Trump got a majority of black people voting for him.
Yeah, it's not the majority, but the fact that it is growing, that should be a scary thing that the Democrats should be focused on, and yet they're not focused on that. They're pretending it's not a problem or it's not an issue.
There's currently one Democrat running for president in 2020, and he actually sounded like one of the most rational ones. He's like, let's stop attacking Trump for the sake of attacking Trump. Basically it's like, let's stop dividing the party and whatnot. And I'm like, I don't agree with this platform. I would much rather not see him or Trump get into office, but if I had to vote in the Democratic primaries, I'd probably give my vote off to him. But yeah, the Democrats, it's like they're all saying blue wave, blue wave, blue wave. It's like, if anything, it's most likely going to be just a blue ripple, if anything. Like, yeah, I think Humane is mostly right on the GOP might be able to buck the historic trend of the president's party suffering in the midterms.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I'll be right back, by the way.
All right. But there are, I don't know, the reason I'm so hesitant to say it'll go either way is because a lot of incumbent Republican congressmen and Congress people, a lot of them are not seeking re-election. Mm-hmm. A lot of them have resigned, so a lot of them don't have the incumbency factor. I think they said they can afford to lose 23 House seats, but I think there's more than that are ranked really vulnerable. Yeah. They can only afford to lose 1 Senate seat if they make no gains, which usually there will be gains or losses. So only one time can I find where it actually made no difference. But generally speaking, the midterms I think are exciting. I think because it will literally dictate how the president will be able to push his or her agenda through. But
so while I don't anticipate a red wave, but since Republicans are in control of both houses, I think it's going to remain about the same come midterms, and the Democrats are hoping for this big sweep and this control of both houses. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if they do gain control, it's going to be barely gaining control. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be now we've got overwhelming support like they're planning, because like same thing with Hillary, they are ignoring all evidence that contradicts their worldview, and you're just like, you guys are seriously not paying attention to what you guys need to be paying attention to if you want to win this.
Of course, and I've always been thinking about it like we're just talking about just our theories and shit, and about how the Democrats they're just gonna fall on their face. I can just imagine it. Like, imagine a foot race. Imagine if it had to be settled like it was so close, or like who's gonna control the House and Senate. So they have the most fit Republican, or what the dank people would call the Chad Republican, versus the incel Democrat, and an incel Democrat just like fucking falls on his face before the start of the race. I could just that would be pretty funny. But honestly, that, like I mentioned, those are my reasons why I'm hesitant to say a wave of anything. I think it will be close, because I think Cortez is going to win her congressional district because it is so Democratic. She'd have to fuck up like huge to like even get anywhere near a close race. It's tantamount to election. It's so Democratic. Unless it's a secret, silent majority is like, this bitch is stupid and we can't vote for her, and they go and they vote for the other. I would vote Republican in that district just to spite the people. I'd be like, you know what? No, I don't agree with her bullshit healthcare policies, her bullshit on all these things. Like, a few things I'm like, I can agree with, but they were just dwarfed with things I just disagreed with. Then there's some places where it's like,
unemployment is down because everybody's working 2 jobs.
That was such a stupid claim.
What, Aspie?
Yeah. Hey, I gotta tell you, Alec Cortez. I would like to see somebody catcall.
You're really breaking up really bad, dude.
What is it?
Oh, there you go.
You were breaking up really bad there.
Anyway, I was going to say that I would like to see him.
Holy fuck, you're breaking up again.
Really? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's
sorry.
jittery.
I was going to say I would like to see somebody cat call.
I do a legitimate cat call instead of just challenging her to a debate.
Be like, she walks
holy crap, that is wrong.
By and it's gonna be like, look.
You sound really slow and jittery, like, Aspie.
Alexandria, is that better?
No.
Are you able to
every time you ask if that's better, it comes through clear, but then when you go on to your point, it starts breaking up.
Yeah, that's the funniest shit.
YouTube does not want you to make your point against Cortez.
Oh, wait, leave and rejoin.
It seems as if Hunter
Be right
is
back.
the next Alex Jones.
Yeah. But as for this,
I think what you're trying to say, you would like to see somebody genuinely catcalling Ocasio-Cortez.
Your audio was not the
Because-
best either, Humane, just FYI.
Oh, what?
okay, now I can hear you just fine. But
I was a little further away from my mic. Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't lean back. Lean back. No, anyway. So yeah, because when Ben Shapiro challenged her to a debate, she said it was catcalling.
it was so
So
stupid.
it would be funny to see someone legitimately catcall her and be like, "Oh, you see the difference now?"
Yeah. Honestly, with the Senate race in my state, I can already predict how it's gonna go. Like there's some races it's like it doesn't take much to predict, and then there's others where it's like you really gotta you gotta be careful with that prediction.
Do I sound better now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
you
hurry
do.
make. Yeah, so you
I was
want to
go-
see someone genuinely.
I was going to make a joke. I was going to say I want to see somebody catcall hashtag debate Alexandria Cortez. She walked by and be like, "Damn, look at those teeth." Man, she could cut right through a metal. She could cut right through an iron bar with them teeth. Damn.
Owen would date her for her fucked up teeth.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are so many images, like the eyes. Those eyes are just like out of her mind, crazy. I
Yeah.
don't know how anybody could look at her and be like, seriously?
Yeah, I think
She- Sorry, she looks like she should wear a tinfoil hat like constantly.
Yeah,
She
she's
should
like
wear
a left.
straight
She's like the
jacket.
left. She looks like the left wing version of Alex Jones, just a lot skinnier, but and a
She needs to
female.
wear a straight jacket, or is what the leftists would say. She could wear a gay jacket or a bi jacket, but just some type of jacket to keep her
I
sane.
wear a lesbian's jacket.
I
But-
gotta tell. I gotta tell you. I think the stupidest thing that she said was about the Israelite. She called it a Israelite. They called it an occupation, like what with the settlements and stuff. And she said,
Wait.
I don't really know a lot about geopolitical stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. If you don't
But
even
she
know
knows
about-
enough to call Israel an occupation of Palestine.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that whole Palestine-Israel thing, and I'm not going to get too far into this because I don't want my head on a pike. But the thing about the whole Israel-Palestine thing, from what I can gather, is that the Israelites do want to be tolerant of the Palestinians, but the only problem is every time the Israelites give the Palestinians any sort of foothold, any sort of like leeway, they use it to try to attack Israel. And as small as it might be, I've seen all the memes where it shows Israel just pounding Palestine, and then Palestine like sends like one rocket, and then they attack Israel a whole bunch again. I mean, that might be true, but at the same time, you can't really blame Israel. If you've looked at Israel on a map, I mean, it's tiny compared to the other Arab nations around it. So they can't be tolerant. They can't be, oh, those are just people walking down the side of the street. You don't know if the kid that you're going to save has a bomb strapped around his chest, because those are what the Palestinians are willing to do. I mean, they could end this, and the other Arab countries around could end this very quickly. They could just say, hey, come in, you leave the West Bank and the Gaza Strip and come live here, and they'd be all fine. But no, they instilled this idea that the Arabs or the Palestinians are they're entitled to that land right there, even making up myths about how that's really their land. And now the Palestinians are just a bunch of nomads that traveled around.
Yeah.
And other Arab countries didn't want them because they were so crazy. And the thing is that they is now they're caught in a position to where you can't really do anything about it. I mean, you could try to say that the Jews need to bring back the settlements, but even if they were to bring back the settlements, it's hard to say if that would really do anything. I mean,
This land is our land. This land was never your land, or something like that. That's what the left would say.
Yeah, but and when you're talking about the bank and the Gaza Strip and all that sort of thing, if you look back at history, what happened there is the Palestinians were picking fights with Israel. Palestinians got their butts kicked, and then Israel took their stuff from them. That's the same. That's like somebody who tries to mug you and steal your wallet and you go like all Chuck Norris on them, and then they go and call the police and say, "Hey, this guy beat me up and gave me a black eye," and you're like, "They tried to take my wallet."
The police,
and
don't
the
you mean
police
the
is
UN?
like, "How dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself for beating up this poor guy." And he's like,
Yeah, I don't think I would call the UN the police. More like the fake police. The UN sucks.
The
Why-
UN is trash. We need to be removed from the UN.
I do think the UN is like one of the dumbest things in human history. They don't like America, and they don't like Israel. And
"Okay." So not going to the police, but going up to somebody who's dressed as a police officer for Halloween.
yeah. Are you guys still there?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just checking Twitter.
The conversation kind of came to a dead stop right there. But what I'm doing is I'm taking some screen caps of some of the stuff that Josh said.
Hey, I gotta help
Some
my
of-
mom get stuff out of the car. Bye.
All right.
All right, see you later. But yeah, I'm just taking a few screen caps of the Twitter skirmish that went down today.
Oh my god, that dude's a fucking retard. I swear to God, it was so funny. He he admitted humane. He said that he is so fat he's unable to wipe. I was dying.
Well, that wasn't the thing that happened
He is
today, but
trolling or joking, or if he is legitimate. It is like he is the definition of Poe, because if somebody is legitimately not as like, if his level of intelligence is legitimate, that's kind of like, that's scary. It's like, how does somebody get to that point? But if he's doing, if he knows what he's doing, well, then it's okay. Which sometimes it seems like he's aware of what's going on and does it anyway, that's troll behavior. Other times it seems like he's doing something like, wait, did he just seriously do that? Like,
yeah,
I don't think he was aware of what he was doing there.
What he did with Faith, he's like, oh, I didn't think it was funny. It's like, then why are you doing it? Because he kept making rape jokes at her after she, he heard that she had been raped, and he was making rape jokes at her. It's like, how the fuck do you not realize it's wrong? It was like,
and for the record, everybody, we are not revealing like some super secret personal information. This
is something she said publicly, yeah.
And it's been outed like a million times in the course of the last week.
Yeah, and honestly,
I didn't even think he was intent right off the bat. I did not think in the least bit that he was intending that as a joke. What I saw that was that he was trying to use Faith's rape as an example to try and push forward his shitty ass arguments about subjective morality by saying, "Oh, your rapist viewed it as a positive, so therefore, morality on rape is subjective." Yeah.
Well,
gotcha.
We've had discussion on objective versus subjective morality, and for some reason it always boils down to rape, because people seem to have a more definitive view on that. I tried to center it around murder, but apparently we can't even agree that murder is wrong. And I'm like,
perhaps it's
that seems like a very odd discussion. They're like, well, no, we can't all agree that murder is wrong. And I'm like, I'm trying to find something that everybody in the conversation can agree is wrong, and it seems like we can't get to that point.
Agree on a definition of murder, because doesn't the law sometimes define self-defense in some cases to be murder?
No.
I mean,
murder by definition is the illegitimate killing of someone else. By its very definition,
the law would consider that illegitimate. So that's why that I am asking. Yeah. With the law, I mean, I'm not saying that the law is right in that way to be calling a self-defense case, a legitimate self-defense case, to be murder.
Well, there's some instances where you can go overboard. Like if somebody is attacking you with a butter knife and you unload 12 rounds into them, did you seriously fear for your life? That doesn't seem likely.
No, you're just a psychopath that loved blood.
Yeah, you're just saying, oh, look, he lunged at me with a plastic butter knife, so I felt my life was in danger and decided to shoot them 12 times. And like,
I will kill you with a spoon.
Yeah, there are excessive uses of force, which can be like, no, that was not justified. So that was, in that case, it was murder. It's like the South Park, like season 1. Oh my God, they're coming right for us. That's not legitimate. Self-defense.
I mean, I think rape is a little bit more objective because as a retaliatory action, it does seem rather illegitimate. Like somebody had shared a meme of like some gay rapist raping another person who was raping a woman, and to a certain extent, it was unnecessary. I mean, the gay guy could have just beat the ever-living shit out of the rapist instead of raping him in turn. But no, he raped the person instead.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, that's the thing with that example is the third person in that. So the gay guy who comes along. Okay, so the scenario is set up. So there's somebody who's raping a woman, and then somebody comes along, sees that, and then goes and rapes the rapist. That doesn't stop the act of rape from occurring. The rapist is still going to continue to rape, even if he's being penetrated from behind. It doesn't stop the act.
He's going to continue raping at that same moment, or he's going to rape other people.
Yeah, he's not stopped from the act of raping, so that doesn't help the situation. It makes the situation worse, but
I guess there was like some context that's missing in that story that somebody had just the only thing that they shared was a screen cap of the article that was explaining this story. It did not go into detail, but yeah, some context is missing. If the gay guy had like pulled the rapist away from the woman, then that would be different. But if he was like raping the rapist while he was still in the process of raping the girl, then it's completely illegitimate. Like, what, gay guy? You're just getting in on the fun here? Well, in that case, you were just a plain out psychopath. Like, if
and actually might be considered an accomplice or something like that, because I mean,
perhaps
this is not something that is impossible to do. There are porno films where this act occurs, and none of the participants stop doing the act.
Humane would know.
No, it's just research. Just looking up statistics.
Sure.
He was researching with his right hand, everybody.
Will you believe me that I was just looking up statistics?
No, because it's rapeception. You gotta look it up all the time.
That reference nobody got, but oh my god, that will never not be a joke.
But it would have been funnier if Hunter had stayed in the chat.
By the way, he prefers. I mean, his name is already out there in public, but
yeah, I was about to say his name is on the
called Aspie.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, if Aspie was still here, then it would have been a little funnier. But
do you believe me, please?
Yeah.
But that's the funny thing is that's legitimately what he was doing, and we've got the video evidence of the proof that he's looking up the statistics because that's the conversation we were having anyway. Okay, so yeah, but I'm trying to when talking about objective versus subjective, I'm trying to establish there are some acts that are deemed, this is bad. And trying to get people to understand there are certain things that you cannot say are good. I mean, there's no upside, there's no benefit, there's no way of looking at them in a positive light. And that seems very odd that no one would agree on this. And I'm like, well, then how do you make any decision in your life whatsoever? If you're making any kind of decision, there's a value judgment of this is good versus and this is bad.
I just got a quick question. S-Man, did you mean to spell minarchy or monarchy in your poll here?
Minarchy.
Minarchy.
Yeah, minarchy. I can only include 4, so if you want to add other ones, just vote other.
I think that a government could be both a republic and a minarchy at the same time.
Then I guess you could vote other and just say both.
No, a republic is not necessarily the same thing as a minarchy, minarchist society. Minarchist typically is republic, but a republic can be like technically what Rome had was a republic at certain stages of its government, and yet it was this big bloated, big bloated state that ended up collapsing on itself.
All right.
So a minarchist would be a very small republic that is forced to remain small, but.
Right. I mean, maybe then I should have pressed the minarchy button.
Yeah.
But anyway, back on the subject regarding subjective versus objective morality. I mean, I guess we can like boil down the word murder to like its more simpler term.
Yeah.
Killing. Like generally, people say that killing is wrong, but obviously, even those who say that killing is wrong, there are exceptions to the rule. Like if, say, somebody's attempting to kill another person, or they already have killed other people and they'll continue to kill more, then that would be, if for most people who aren't complete and utter pussies, that it is to kill the killer.
So that's my problem, is people keep equating murder with killing, and you're like, no, those are two separate concepts, because sometimes a kill is justified, other times a kill is not justified, they call it murder.
Right. I mean, the only definition of murder that I've been able to find on the internet was the legal definition of murder, and that is a killing that is against the law. Isn't there like a moral definition of murder as well?
But that's subjective. No, I'm kidding. I do have to go, guys, but thanks for having me on.
Oh, sure. Thanks, S-Man. Hopefully Mjolnir Man, Jeeps, and Faith will join on. I mean, I haven't. I arranged this stream mainly because I wanted to talk to them too. I hadn't ever got fully acquainted to them, but yeah.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah.
See you later.
And so when you're talking about moral, I guess it depends on your moral values. And when I would say when it comes to murder, what makes murder versus a kill, I go back to the non-aggression principle. So depends on who is the aggressor in the situation. If the person, if the aggressor is the one being killed, then it's legitimate. If the aggressor is the one doing the killing, then no, that's not legitimate. That would be the moral stance on that. Is the who is who is violating first.
Right.
Me.
And just like with we talked about with the animals and the whole vegan thing, when somebody is attempting to take the life of another or attempting to violate the right to life of someone else, like by attacking them and trying to shoot them, or by trying to kill them, stab them, or whatever means to end their life, similar to an animal, they have shown that they do not respect the right to life, and therefore have given up their own right to life. It's the announcement that I don't respect right to life, you shouldn't respect my right to life either. That's or at least from my moral position, that seems to be a consistent moral definition of when something becomes murder. And it's very easy to determine who is in the wrong based on that. But when you come down to the legal definition, sometimes it's a little harder to tell because the law isn't exactly clear in all situations. Sometimes you're like, that person deserved to die, and yet the law says, no, that person, you don't have a right to attack that person. You're like, really? That seems silly, because this person was doing something that we can all look at and be like, yeah, that was something he shouldn't have been doing, and it's his fault that he died, and yet the law will say, nope, he was innocent, and the person who took his life was, So it's very inconsistent in its application a lot of times.
This is reminding me of the stuff that I've been hearing over in the UK, where they're outlawing so many things like they outlawed an inflatable pool because a robber nearly drowned himself.
The guy who was trying to come in and rob them drowned in their pool, and so they're outlawing pools.
Wow.
Dude, that is insane.
There is your overbloated government there, Ham.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that they started to ban not just the insane in London when they're talking about banning knives and sharp objects. They also have a van ban where you cannot drive vehicles of a certain size in certain areas of the city.
Geez. I mean, that makes me glad. That makes me glad that I live here in Wichita. I doxed myself, but yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean,
that dude, nobody's gonna go to Kansas. Dude, nobody cares. Like, dude,
it's
even if somebody
boring for anybody.
do something bad to you, they'd be like, dude, I gotta go through Kansas to get to him. Screw that.
But as I was saying, it makes me glad that I live in Wichita, because for the longest time, my mom ended up, oh man, I cannot remember what the model of the van was, but it was this big 8-seat.
She had a rapist van.
I think it was what it was. Oh, fuck you, RK. That's getting into a new dark territory, because this is the van that my mom used to transport a family For fuck's
Oh, I
sake.
wonder how she got that family. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Fuck. Am I digging myself into a hole here?
Kind of.
I don't know. I just don't take it personally. It's like that. I don't get. He's not. When somebody makes a your mom joke, they're not talking about your mom. They don't know who your mom is. They are just making a joke.
My mama's so fat, she's a mountain.
Oh, what the
It's
fuck?
your mama is an abstract concept. It's
Did
not
you
a specific person.
Did you say that around your mother, Arcade?
No, I said my mama's so big, she's a mountain.
Did you say that around
No,
your mother?
I live with my stepmom, not my actual mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, my mama's so cheap, she eats cereal with a fork to conserve milk.
It just dumps the milk back in the carton. The sugary cereal infested milk. Yuck.
Yeah. Anyway,
You should really look at your chat there, Dark.
Yeah, I know. Cat Chat is has joined the stream, saying finally have my computer. I moved and didn't have my computer for a week. She agrees with you, Humane. How would we make steaks and chops and salad? How would we cut cake? Hands Dark a ladder. Okay.
wait.
Oh, to get out of the hole that I am burying myself in.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Cat Chat. That's so sweet of you.
But we gotta keep you in that hole. It's no fun unless
Fuck
you're stuck
you.
down there.
I will burn your ass, bitch. But
Oh,
anyway.
is that the hole that you're in?
Yes, he's in the Ring of Fire.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, I had distracted.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say something, but then I got distracted with Twitter. Can't remember where. Oh yeah, I mean my family was a fairly big family for the longest time, and it still is. So she needed like quite a big van to transport all the kids, and so forth. Man, if this stream doesn't pick up in guests and whatnot, I might end it at like 8:30 ish or something.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
mama's
have to
so
go
big, she
here in
needed a
bit,
semi
but-
to get around.
What?
Yo, mama's so big, she had to take a semi to get around.
She had to drive a diesel.
like the. My mama's so fat, she's on both sides of the family.
Oh, that's a real good one right there.
Yeah.
My mama's so big, she makes Jupiter look like a dwarf.
Oh.
My mama's so fat, she's got her own orbit.
Oh man.
My mama's so fat, the sun orbits her.
I would make like a my mama joke, but the thing is, I still cannot help but think of my own mother. If I was
Yes,
to like
that's
say
the problem. You gotta separate your mama and my mama. That's saying that is not actually talking about your literal mom. It's
Unless you're trying to have a diss battle, it means nothing because it's just jokes.
it's just jokes, and it could be you could substitute any random woman. I mean, like for all of these jokes, like you could say Serena Williams. Well, I don't know if I say after in light of recent subject, I don't know if she actually is a woman. But anyway,
what?
so the whole
She is everything.
WNBA or WTA nonsense that's going around. Sorry, what? Her little press conference and stuff. So I posted this on Twitter. This might be me reading into it more than is there. The opening statement at that press conference, Serena says, "I have seen other men calling umpires worst thing," and you're like, "Wait a minute."
Calling umpires worst thing?
No. The phrase that I focused on is "I've seen other men," and you're like,
I like what Cat Chat.
If Serena is a real woman, Serena would say, "I have seen men doing this and not getting punished for it." But Serena says, "I have seen other men doing this and not getting punished." You're like, does that mean that you're included in the category of men? That's what I'm reading out of that. But maybe that just to me that sounds like a Freudian slip. But maybe it was just a bad
maybe she's
word
working
choice,
on
but
her transitioning.
yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what you were trying to imply there, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you've seen Serena, dude, that looks like a man. I'm sorry if she's a natural woman, looks like a man to me. I don't know how
So
anybody could
Serena is fairly curvy, I say.
No, she's got the facial structure and the bone structure of a dude. If Serena is a natural woman and all that sort of thing, then I guess I apologize because that's unfortunate.
Oh god, Humane, you're such an asshole. You know that?
No, it's just I mean, apparently she's happily married and had a kid, which I don't know how. Like that's the part that's like, well, maybe that should be kind of definitive proof that I don't know.
By the way,
to me, the question still remains. I'm like the Austin Powers, that's a man.
Yeah, whatever. What was you saying, RK?
I like when Red Feather joined the chat and everything. He's like, "Well, it just came into your mom."
Red.
I want to sit there and rephrase that just a little.
Yeah.
Red woman, a Red Feather is a woman.
Okay, so yeah, just trying to do a little bit of transition there, but yeah, basically you can substitute any woman into the your mom jokes and then proceed. It's like, you know, you could say, instead of saying your mama, you could be like, Rosie O'Donnell is so fat, she's on both sides of the family. The joke still works.
Cat Chat says, your mama's so skinny, she got mistaken for a flagpole.
Dude looks like a lady.
Yeah. Red Feather says, stop umpire abuse. They are women like RuPaul. Hey, Red Feather, find it funny how you said that. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing that I'm like, this is a bit of a controversy, right? Because the whole Serena thing says that she's standing up for women in sports. And I'm like, you're in an entire division that is nothing but women. It's the Women's Tennis Association.
That's kind of the same as the Boy Scouts of America stuff going on and everything, yeah. Where there's literally Girl Scouts and everything, but yet just because there's a Boy Scouts, there's a problem.
Yeah, but it's like she's saying, "Oh, I'm standing up for women," and they're being and I'm like, you lost the game to a woman. How is it sexist to hold you to rule? I'm like, you broke the rules. They took away points from you, and you lost the game because of that. And you're saying, oh, that's them being sexist. Okay, imagine if they didn't take those points away from you, a woman would have lost the game. Is that also sexist? Because your opponent was a woman. Oh, it's still sexist no matter what you do, because either way, a woman would have lost that match. And you're like, I don't understand how this is a women's rights issue in a woman's division of a sport. Both participants are women. No matter what happens, a woman is going to lose and a woman is going to win. That's just silly nonsense. It's like, oh, but and so there's claims that men don't get treated the same way when they play tennis and all that sort of thing. I'm like, but one of the big strikes against her during that match is she broke her own racket. That's unsportsmanlike behavior. Took her racket, smashed on the ground, and it broke. And that's a penalty, and I mean both for men and women, and it's been applied pretty universally. But that was that's the reason she lost. If she hadn't done that.
This reminds me of another thing that I had read a while back and everything, where a guy wanted to play volleyball and everything, but yet the feminist community is like, don't do it, he's a guy. Jesus Christ.
What happened to women's power? Like, shouldn't she be able to beat the man? Shouldn't she prove that she can beat a man?
Oh, she probably could have beat the crap out of that umpire. Like, yeah, but then.
In the chat,
anyway.
Red Feather says, and the transgendered women in women's competitions in
oh, dude,
Australia.
yeah, that's a huge problem. But see, then this is something that's been pointed out pretty consistently. It never goes the other way around. You will never see a woman transitioning into a man competing in an actually athletic events. Like, so there's a couple instances where
not true. I read
there's bodybuilding competitions, like or physical appearance competitions, right?
Okay. Oh, 1 second. I'd like to give the floor to RK for a second.
There has been a female and everything that was transitioning, still in high school, and was competing in wrestling competitions, but
no, versus women, right?
No, versus guys.
Versus guys.
But was always losing and sat there and was complaining about it. But yeah, it makes sense because you're not going to have as much muscle mass, nor are you really going to be as strong as the guys. Not to be sexist, but that's physically how it is. And everything.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Even if you see them competing, they're not dominating. They are not. I mean, they are bottom rung. And so Mark Rippetoe has talked about this. It's not something that can be fixed with hormone replacement therapy, because a lot of what makes males more physically dominant occurs in the womb. And there's no amount of hormone replacement therapy after after you start transitioning or in your adult life that is going to develop you the same way as the hormones that you receive when you're in the womb. There's a lot of your bone structure and your I forget what's it. So testosterone has this amazing effect when you're developing in the fetal stage. It not only does it make your bones denser and able to, so less likely to break a bone as a man, but also bones repair faster for men versus women. This is another thing. This is why osteoarthritis is more common in women after a certain age than men, because estrogen has the tendency to degrade bones over time, whereas testosterone strengthens bones over time. The other part of that is men have I forget what the name of this is, but it's the ability to contract and expand our muscles faster than females. So this is why men have a faster sprint, a higher jump, things along those lines. And that has to deal with testosterone, and not testosterone while you're developing or while you're going through puberty. Testosterone that is a part of you in the womb. So there's no amount of surgery or therapy that is going to give you those same results, which is why when women transition to men later in life, if they try to compete in like football or things along those lines, if they try to compete directly with men, they are going to get their asses handed to them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one of the risks that a trans that people are going to have to like if I can speak. I guess that's one of the risks that people are going to have to take when it comes to trans people, is like the unpredictability with sports. I mean, if you want to like accept a trans female into your sports league, women's sports, well then be aware that trans female is going to kick everyone else's asses in that in that female sport. I mean, go ahead. Yeah. That's your prerogative, but don't be too surprised. Don't go writing articles bitching about how, this is going to be something like, I guess, TERFs will be complaining about more than anything else, but still.
So that same factor of testosterone during the fetal stage development, same thing applies. The hormone replacement therapy of having estrogen injections and becoming more feminine in the adult life doesn't take away that increased muscle strength and bone density for these male to female athletes. And that's why they dominate the industry whenever they go into those sports.
And with female to male trans people, it's kind of a different story because it's not the leagues and the players around them that has to be wary, but the trans person themselves that has to be wary on their choice. Like, obviously, it's your body. Like, you're the only one that's going to be affected when you're a full consenting adult of wanting to transition. You're the only one who's going to be affected. I mean, when it comes to like whose rights are affected and so on and so forth. I mean, I believe in bodily autonomy to that extent when it comes to trans people. But if you are going to make that decision and you want to join sports, just be aware that you probably won't be as successful as your cis male counterparts.
Yeah.
Cat, by the way, that was a joke. That was literally like, oh no, it's sexist.
All right. Okay. I'm going to catch up on the chat here.
Okay.
A little bit. Cat Chat says, I'm used to losing, so I wouldn't care. Cat Chat is from Australia, by the way, so I guess that's why she's mentioning that. May as well just give everyone participation trophy, says Red Feather. She also says that he will spike the ball with his penis. Cat says, anyone for tennis? Okay. Red Feather says the women's rugby team over there, I think it was rugby, had a game with the boys' high school team and got their asses stomped.
No, that's something that's been mentioned as well as the women's Olympic team for hockey plays against high school boys and they lost. It's like...
Right. I mean, I guess that's a problem with intersectional feminists is that if there's nothing that you can do to change biology. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Biology is sexist. It's not necessarily that. It's not that society is sexist. It's that biology is sexist.
Yes.
I mean, it chooses the strengths, the physical strengths, or at least in one area, for men over women. When it comes to birthing, though, I mean, obviously that's an area that women can like take more pain and have more strength for. Obviously, I mean, try to like put a man in the position of giving birth. He'll probably like he'll probably succumb to the pain a whole lot worse than a woman would, for example.
Yeah. And so this is another area that actually Crowder touched on, is like the only area where women outcompete men when it comes to athletic ability is long distance swimming. And so the difference between men and women physically is that women have more endurance. They have more stamina. They can tough it out for longer than men in general.
Women have more endurance. Well, then in that case, isn't there like a long distance run? Shouldn't women be out competing men in that area as well?
No, I would say not so much, because that's not a matter of how far you can run, but how quickly you can run a long distance. Where I think the long distance swimming is how long they can actually stay in water while swimming. So that's a different. I think that's the difference between the two, right?
Oh God, you're
breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up real bad.
Kat, by the way, that man being pregnant is a transgender guy, a transgender woman turned guy.
Yeah,
being pregnant. That's not actually a guy themselves.
Oh yeah, I saw that story. Like it was like in 2008, I think it was. And Bill O'Reilly. Was it Laura Ingraham? I can't remember. It was some NBC or ABC host or something like that. Some old female reporter. She was talking about like the 10 most spectacular people or something like that. Rush Limbaugh was on there. Will Smith was on there. Barack Obama was on there. The pregnant man was there. And Miley Cyrus was there. Yeah, on those lists. And then like about a year later, Bill O'Reilly, I recall, made it like a top 10 pinheads list and put the pregnant man on there. I do not know for why the reason was. I mean, I did not watch the full show myself, but I mean, I would not doubt if maybe Bill O'Reilly was being off base in some areas, but again, I do not know his reasoning for putting the pregnant man on there.
Oh, well, I mean, so that was another video I made talking about that particular incident. So I'm not sure if you're talking about the same person, but the actual.
It's like a Asian guy with a.
The individual goes by the name Tom Beatty.
Kat, you should link it in the chat then, if this was more recent and everything.
Yeah, I don't know because there's been a couple incidents, but this was the first case of male or female to male that got pregnant during transition. So,
right.
like in the instance of Tom Beatty has, I believe, 3 children, biological children. And in order to go through the pregnancy and all of that, hormone replacement therapy had already started, and it was paused during pregnancies and then continued between pregnancies until the next pregnancy, and then it was paused again. And also, Tom Beatty had a mastectomy, I think, after the second birth. So I think there's 3 total children that have been biological. But I was just thinking, we have no idea what was going on because this individual is being subject to hormone replacement therapy during conception, and you have no idea what kind of impact that is going to have on those children. The other thing is the psychological damage of having to explain that your dad actually gave birth to you but didn't want to remain a woman. There's so much that's just going to be like, those kids are going to have a hard time adjusting to society because
I can only imagine that the hormone therapy would affect the unborn children in a similar way. Well, maybe not a similar way as alcohol, but in a way just like alcohol affects unborn children.
Well, I mean, just like I was talking about, like there's the hormones in the development stage of a fetus for men and women is drastically different because it affects your entire physiology when you're an adult. And if the womb is being bombarded with hormones that wouldn't normally be during that process, it's very likely to lead to, to abnormal effects during puberty and during adult life. We don't know all the full effects of that, but there's instances and there's certain conditions that are caused by, even though somebody has regular XY chromosomes or regular XX, but because of hormonal imbalances during pregnancy lead to conditions that are outside of the norm. And you're like, well, that's not because of it's not like a, Turner syndrome or anything like that, but because it's not based in your genetics, it's based in the hormones that you were subjected to during pregnancy, because there was something went wrong and they either got too much estrogen or they got too much testosterone, and it leads to improper development. And I don't know if that's the case with Tom Beatty's kids, but I'm like, that's very likely to occur, but we won't know because I don't think they've quite, let's see, because that was 2008, right? So those kids would be what, maybe 10? Right around the age where they're starting to hit puberty and all that sort of thing. So only time will tell. I mean, hopefully everything works out just fine, but it's like, man, seems like a very risky thing to do with your kids.
Right. Trying to get caught up on the chat here. Cat Chat said something. Oh, Hillary Clinton's so dumb she thought a chocolate bar was Eddie Murphy.
What? I can't hear you over the.
Okay, mute yourself. I'm hearing all the background. But yeah, Cat Chat says in the chat, Hillary Clinton's so dumb she thought a chocolate bar was Eddie Murphy. Like, what the fuck? I mean, is that a real thing? I did not hear about that.
A chocolate bar with Eddie Murphy.
I used to like Red Feather says, I used to like tennis but haven't played in years. I would probably pass out now. LOL, Cat, but she has hot sauce in her purse. Yes, that's why older women are at higher risk of osteoporosis. In our case, in the public chat, oh no, that's sexist. Red Feather continues, and soy literally makes your body produce less testosterone. Cat Chat says, it's not sexist for a woman to lose fair and square, but just like it's not sexist for a man to win Magic the Gathering. Got into it recently.
So here's another thing I want to talk about on that particular incident, or that particular subject of men transitioning to women and dominating the sports. The men who are transitioning, they are the bottom rung. So if you look at Fallon Fox was, prior to transitioning, getting stomped in men's MMA. transitioned, started doing women's MMA, dominates, becomes top dog all around, could not compete at that same level in the men's division. Now imagine if someone like George St. Pierre transitioning and going to women, and dude, it would, I don't care what's going on, like it would be setting records that could not be even, couldn't be touched, because he's already like dominating MMA on the men's division. Like, as somebody who is top, like LeBron James transitioned and went to WNBA, he would own the entire Women's Hall of Fame. Like, every possible statistic, top, and then it would be so far and above what the women have been able to do in that division. They wouldn't be able to come close. Like, or Usain Bolt, right, the fastest man alive, transition, starts competing in women's Olympics. Women just would throw up their hands and then stop competing altogether, because, like, dude, we can't even like 2 minutes behind him or something crazy like that.
I got a question, by the way. This is probably going to seem like a dumbass question for you, since you are an anarchist, Humane. But for the record, though, you believe in legally allowing people to get their gender transitions if they want to.
Oh yeah. I don't have a problem with them doing it. I think it's a bad idea. I think it leads to a more miserable life. I think it is lying to someone to tell them that they can transition with surgery or with hormones. But if they make that decision regardless of what they've been told, that's them. That is their choice to make. It's their life. You are allowed to make bad decisions in your life. Forcing someone to make only good decisions or only the decisions you approve of them is not allowing them to live their life.
Do you think that there are some legitimate cases where a person would have to get a transition?
No.
I don't think so either, honestly.
I don't think there is any, like, oh, I have to transition or else it's a medical condition, I'm going to die. No, it is entirely elective. So as far as hormone treatment, there are instances where someone would have adverse health effects without hormone therapy. I mean, that's
just hormonal imbalance.
Yes, so there are like cis women who get testosterone treatment, and cis men who get estrogen treatment for various conditions, but it's not a part of transitioning into a woman or transitioning into a man. It's it's just, hey, your hormones are off balance, so we're treating you with hormones to rectify the situation. But getting body parts chopped off or manipulated and getting regular injections of hormones that are not due to some kind of health risk, that's entirely elective. There's nothing mandatory about any of that. That's like saying, is there ever a case where someone would absolutely need breast implants? And you're like, no. If somebody doesn't, it's like, oh, my balance is thrown off and I'm going to start crashing into things if I don't get breast implants. And you're like, that what? No, people have gotten mastectomies and have been perfectly fine. They like the breast implants because of the psychological, feeling complete and whole, but it's not required.
I think there might be some cases of where people are transitioning for more political issue or for or out of luxury more than need. But like, say if somebody had a legitimate intersex condition, do you think that gender transition might have to be needed in that case?
So I don't think that it is needed. Although a lot of people who are intersex do tend to live as either male or female, and in order to do that, sometimes they get surgery. I can't think of an instance where it's still not elective. It's not as if their health is at risk and they have to do. It's just because they don't want to. It is purely cosmetic in nature. I don't know. Because there's no long-term effects. Like, it's not like you can ever, if you're transitioning, it's not like you can ever stop the treatment. That's because if you stop the treatment, it's not like you die or get sick or anything like that. It's just you go back to what you were before the treatment started. It's you just revert to your natural state. So
largely became like a conversation on gender.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But
Melnir, your webcam is like laggy.
Oh, Mjolnir Man, what's up? I almost didn't recognize you with a black beanie there.
I am very sorry. I had to switch audio devices really quick.
By the way, that was an epic ass raping you're giving to Jocelyn on that one stream. Sorry, is it uncomfortable that I brought that up?
Bro, what up?
The one stream that you joined of Jocelyn's and you absolutely destroyed him.
Oh no, that was actually I took great pleasure in doing that. That was pretty fun.
All right, well, you kind of had a look on your face, so I didn't.
I was freaking out. I thought my Wi-Fi cut out for a second.
No. Okay.
Because I couldn't hear you at all.
I see. What was I gonna say? Yeah, just absolute. Was there something else that you just want to say, Humane?
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I think so. Because I was just saying, there's a lot of things that I would advise people not to do, but to enforce it by law is a complete violation of, of people's free choice.
Right.
That's what's like. I want people to be able to choose freely for themselves, but as soon as your actions take away the freedom of someone else, that's where we draw the line when it comes to legality and all of that sort of thing. So,
oh no, S-Man's back.
If you want to do drugs, if you want to, be involved in the LGBT community, if that's your choice, go ahead. There shouldn't be any law stopping you.
Right.
But if your decision is going to, violate the rights of somebody else making their own decision, that's where we have to draw the line and be like, no, your decisions should only affect you. Like if you want to get involved in the LGBT community, you can't force somebody else to participate or, drag somebody along. And like, especially this comes to children. Like if you look at what Desmond is amazing. And what's the other one? Those little kids who are like 7 and 8 years old that are being, convinced that being a drag queen is awesome. That to me seems like child abuse. And I'm like, well, that's where the law should be stepping in and being like, hey, if your parents want to be involved in that, that's fine. But if you were trying to drag your kids into this, that's where, hey, you don't get to make those decisions for them. That's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Damn it.
You're gonna say something.
I cannot remember, but Red Feather says in the chat, maybe some would benefit from ass implants. Remember that King of the Hill where Hank needed a prosthetic ass?
Needed one. Well, that is a cartoon. I don't know if there's ever a necessity for ass implants.
You're citing movies as evidence for your argument. Mrs. No Bullshit.
Yeah, it's a funny idea, but I don't remember that particular episode as far as why they said it was necessary, but it's a flawed premise. It's like, wait a minute. What?
Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. Desmond. I think that was the name of the person that I read about, an article about as of recently, one of my episodes of Strike Force. Talking about setting up how there's a 10-year-old transgender child wanting to set up a trans children dating site.
That to me was the dumbest shit I ever read.
That was so dumb when I saw that. Jesus fucking Christ.
Hey, Mjolnir Man, that's a pretty cool beanie you got there. And he's muted. He's not even gonna. I won't be able to hear him.
Yeah.
I
think he's frozen, actually.
He looks that way. Like, what the fuck is up with that? We're losing connection with you, Mjolnir Man. Oh.
Yeah, I think his Wi-Fi is cutting in and out. But
S-Man's is definitely.
I think
I am having some technical issues on my end. I will state that for the record. It's kind of cutting in and out for me.
Yeah, was there a I was just saying, was there a particular topic that you just set up the stream for, Darkon?
No, not really. It was supposed to be a random hangout stream. I mean, I primarily set this thing up so that I could have Jeeps and Faith on because I only got acquainted to Jeeps because of the one stream that we had on Brandon's channel called the Josso Titties channel. It's supposed to be his parody account of Jossaman, and he had an episode where Jossaman was on there. And
about that, I'm amazed you got that kid though.
What? You got that kid go what?
Time to watch that stream or not? That was pretty funny.
He's cutting in and out. Even his hands cutting in and out.
Join, but I had to build.
Mjolnir man, for some reason your mute icon keeps on going on and off, on and off. Like, are you literally getting muted on and off, on and off, or something?
No, he's losing connection. You can tell it's like it's. So I think that's just automatic whenever his connection fades out because he keeps disconnecting from the Hangouts and then trying to reconnect.
Oh shit! This is gonna suck.
Yeah, I think that's the internet issue.
Okay. Would be interesting if Lapis joined, but I don't know. Apparently,
I'm here. I think Lapis would not join, and I think Lapis is angry with me, and I'm not quite sure why. I know I have been blocked by a lot of those people.
I think
those people, as in people from the Poor Bastards chat.
Oh, I thought you was meaning people from Owen McDonald's following.
Yeah, that too. So I've been blocked by a lot of people. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm blocked. Okay.
I mean, I have like a no blocking policy myself because the thing about blocking a person, it kind of props up their confidence. I mean, I've so far not blocked Jossaman, mostly because it would prop up his confidence, but also because his shit is not that hard to argue about. Oh, Tasteless Opinion is in the chat. This has been a while. At Timothy has been blacked. He says, "Did you mean to spell? Did you actually mean to spell blocked, Tasteless?"
Probably. But I mean, if I was blacked, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
You wouldn't have a problem being black?
Yeah. Like then people would stop calling me a white boy. I'm like, dude, I'm not white. I don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody, humane is omniracial. Get it right, damn it.
Well, I identify as omniracial, but even if that's not accepted, I'm like, I'm Greek and Asian, like a Greek and Korean. How is that white?
Well, Greek,
like I'm Cypriotic Greek, not Greek is like, I mean, there's some Greeks who do look like Europeans, like British people and things like that. But the Cypriotic Greeks, like indistinguishable from Palestinians and Jews, like as far as complexion, it's actually called an olive skin tone, like people from Egypt.
No, it's brown.
It's what?
No, it's brown. You gotta get it right. It's brown. It's always brown.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
you're trying as humane. Shut up. You're trying to prop up your own oppression points. We get it.
I'm just saying, no, technically I'm not white.
Obviously.
I'm not white, I'm Caucasian. Get it right.
Yeah, I am not Caucasian. That's
obviously you're a mutt, is what you are.
And I am a mutt. So I'm like, dude, quit telling me what I am. I know what I am. But I don't identify as white either. I identify as omniracial.
I remember that I actually got in Twitter spat with some of they weren't followers of Owen, I think, but it was like I got in a Twitter spat with Michael Rollins and some of his followers, actually. It was me and JJ versus Christy Winters got involved a little bit there as well. It was mostly Michael Rollins and a few of his fans. And one of them, and race got brought up eventually. Originally, it was talking about of how Bering was transphobic because he likes to poke fun at Steve Shives and his chicks with dicks line. And I'm just thinking to myself, wait, is this really the best that you got? I mean, Christy Winters brought that up as a piece of evidence that he is transphobic, and I'm thinking to myself, what? What is that the best? Like, but you're just going to bring up some example of him like advocating for a law that could potentially be used against trans people, or is in fact intended to be used against trans people. But no, it was just a joke. I mean, in my opinion, if a sense of humor is like if it's kind of discriminatory on who it's targeting, then that's peanuts right there. I mean,
Yeah,
if it pokes at stereotypes,
I agree. That is penis right there.
then it's a non-issue to me. I mean, maybe you could say, I don't know, maybe you could like just say in humor the person is or discriminating against, I don't know, generalizing. I'm trying to find the exact words for it. I'm just going to use this, but maybe in humor you could say that the person is prejudging, is prejudiced against trans people, but it's not like it's a serious issue. It's not like it's the end of the world or anything, and they make it out to be that way.
No, I mean, it's not being mean or being insensitive to trans people. It's recognizing reality. Chicks do not have penises. That's why the phrase "chicks with dicks" is funny, because like that's an absurd statement.
I mean,
stop being insensitive to all us attack helicopters, okay?
I mean, obviously, it's referring to people who are trans females who are trying to transition, but they hadn't got it, cut off or anything like that yet. But anyway, as the as the point that I was trying to make, eventually race got brought up, and JJ Skinner was kind of using his own race to, I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody could make a point that it was a bit of a fallacy that he was making, but he was making a point that I am part Native American, so I don't care if somebody was to like use the word redskin, because the issue of whether or not tranny can be used by non-trans people got brought up, and JJ was using his race, saying, I'm part Native American. I don't care if somebody says redskin. And people were just pushing the issue, saying that, no, you're not Native American because, because you're mostly white. But no, obviously the guy is part red. I mean, you can just see that right off the surface, although, granted, I kind of mistaken him to be Vietnamese, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, but it looks distinctly different from somebody of European descent. That's right. I mean, you can tell there's a physical difference. And that's so, I mean, I don't personally put any weight or, I don't care about your ethnic or racial background. It doesn't make any difference to me. But if you're going to make statements about me, make sure that they're accurate. But calling me white is technically not accurate. So
right. Taste's opinion says, I am a brownie. Yeah, Taste's opinion, he's Mexican. And he's all like, okay. Actually, he calls us all cuck Asians.
Yeah.
C-U-C-K. Okay, debate something, guys. Let's get this bitch rolling. Well, it's not like we are people who massively disagree on something, so it ain't going to be so much of a debate. Yeah. Maybe if Humane left and then Lapis joined on and me and her were to like, me and her would start debating something like a full-on debate, but yeah, you're not going to get that for right now, Taste's opinion. Red Feather says, Fisty Splinters and her crew are the worst. That Michael Rowlands person is someone who tells other people they are oppressed. Yeah, that's one of the things. I think Miss Misa did a video responding to Michael Rowlands, saying basically, who are you to tell me that I am oppressed?
Yeah,
when I'm the one who should know my life the best, and I know that I'm not oppressed, was along the lines of what her argument was. He also says, Taste's opinion does, that's a cool-ass profile picture at the Dark Conservative. Well, thank you, Taste's opinion. But anyway.
Oh, we may have gotten Mjolnir Man back. Hopefully his connection is better this time.
Yeah, Mjolnir Man, I want you to start roasting some people. Go all thug life on them.
Yeah.
Tap into your inner rapper.
You're coming in a little choppy there.
Yeah, and slow. It sounded like that your internet connection was on weed.
Or maybe he's just choppy in real life.
I think so. I mean, I
I
wouldn't
don't
put it
even
past the
do
guy.
names and looks like babies.
What? What did you say, Milner Man?
Yeah, that didn't come through. He got cut up.
At first, I thought he was saying something along the lines of "You look like you're stoned."
Probably.
Tase's opinion says, I bounce the fuck out. Piss. Says piss instead of peace. And Red Feather says, yes, Misa did, and invited him to have a debate, but he apparently declined. Shocking. Yeah, because Michael Rowlands is one of those spurgs who goes on like mass blocking sprees. Not as bad as what's his face?
Shives.
Yeah, Steve Shives, but still, yeah.
Blocked by Steve Shives before I even knew who he was. Like, wait, who? Oh, that guy who's apparently has me blocked. All right.
Sorry, I was reading my messenger. Stream is gonna die down, and it's getting a bit late, and Mjolnir Man cannot hardly get a connection rolling.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I almost feel tempted to end the stream, but
yeah, because I mean we've talked to Milner Man before, and I think he's a really intelligent guy. He makes a lot of very, very well thought out points, but it's kind of unfortunate I haven't been able to have conversations with him all that much. And I'm like, oh well, that's yeah.
Oh yeah, he
looks like
again.
Looks like he is not able to maintain a consistent connection. So
Red Feather says Steve Shives cock blocked his wife.
All right. Let's see, is there anything else that's been going on that we kind of need to? Because I just thought the whole Serena Williams thing was just a joke. It was so silly.
What, her having that Freudian slip?
Well, yeah, the Freudian slip, but also her like, oh, I'm standing up for women's rights, and you're like, how? You're in a women's division. You're protesting that you lost the match. Because of your own actions, and you're claiming that it's a women's rights that those the penalties against you shouldn't have counted. And you're like, so then you would have won, and the other woman would have lost. And like, how does that affect women's rights? How is that standing up for women? It doesn't make any sense. And the other thing is the woman that she lost to is she's Japanese, but she's also black, so she's from Japan. And that should have been like this. You would think, feminists and all the intersectionality, like, hey, yeah, you've got a mixed race Asian first. I think the first female to have won from Japan. Like, they should be, celebrating all over the place, and yet they're sitting here saying, "Oh, Serena Williams was being oppressed and was having sexism against her." And like, are you guys kidding me?
So wait, this one woman you say was part Japanese and part black?
I believe so. So I'm not sure
cute,
what kind of racial mix she is. I do know that she is from Japan, and she's the first champion from Japan. But I'm not sure if she is a mixed black and Japanese, although she doesn't look some of her features don't look like it looks like she's a mix of something. I'm not quite sure what exactly. Possibly Japanese and black. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But you would think that she would be like the new poster child, and everybody would be like, "Yes, this is finally we've got this cross intersectional feminist icon to be the women's champion or whatever." And yet for some reason they're kind of like just pushing her to the side and ignoring her and being like, "Oh, women, Serena Williams was mistreated because she's a woman." And you're like, "What?"
I got a Red Feather says in the chat, so are the feminists all trolling society now?
I think so. It seems like there's a lot of nonsense. Like, if this is a troll, like, they are doing the best job at it, because that's the only, like, oh man, how did we think this was legit? Of course this is all insane, absurd nonsense. Durr. I mean, look, they dressed up like the Handmaid's Tale to go protest Kavanaugh.
You know what I've been kind of thinking as of recently?
Mm-hmm.
That it seems kind of unfair to call all intersectional feminists social justice warriors. Like for example, I fully believe that Christy Winters is an SJW because she tried to police ranting feminists for being friends with Shuan Head, who is friends with Lauren Southern. But then you have somebody like Tim Blake, who's far less social justice-y than people like Christy.
Well, I don't think you can be an intersectional feminist and not be all social justice warrior-y.
I guess we would have to like come up with a solid definition of SJW. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not becoming I'm not trying to like echo the same words of S-Man and say that SJW is a completely useless term. I think one of the most solid ways of defining a social justice warrior would be somebody who's like for political censorship is for one, and another one would be policing what friends you have when the said people did not do anything like objectively heinous, like murder or doxing, and so on and so forth. They only advocated for a certain position you disagree
but I
with.
did murder someone in GTA.
What?
Yeah, I did murder somebody in GTA.
Oh yeah. So therefore, people start policing me for daring to be friends with RK. Then.
Yeah. So we need to start standing up for digital women's rights. Stop oppressing those digital prostitutes. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you've also been participating in digital human trafficking.
I guess you could kind of say that. I'm taking somebody in a police van to my nightclub. So
yeah, that's
yeah,
you should be arrested for all of your digital crimes performed in GTA. That's
the funny thing is that's actually been said. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that, but yeah, that has actually been said. So.
Red Feather says in the chat, digital women are the most oppressed of all.
Yeah, I mean, because not only do they have to have sex with you, but then you run them over after the fact, kill them, and take all your money back. That's the biggest form of oppression ever.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't do that. It just seems...
that's what you do in GTA.
Okay, well, I haven't ever played GTA. I've played games like Skyrim, though, although there isn't really prostitution involved in Skyrim, but still. I gotta ask you, though, what would you think would be a solid definition for what a social justice warrior would be?
So, social justice warriors are people who fight for equality based on category, right? Women, so women should have equal rights to men, black should have equal, but it's not, they say equal rights, but what they want is equal outcomes. And I don't think, if you're an intersectional feminist, I don't think that you can be an intersectional feminist without having those same beliefs and without fighting for those same causes of we all need equal outcomes or else one group is oppressed.
Then wouldn't that technically mean that economic leftists would be social justice warriors?
Yeah, because they're fighting for equal outcomes, although they're saying just for everybody. They don't quite break it down based on your category. Like, oh, a lot of them will talk about the wage gap and things like that, but there are economic leftists who just talk about, pay discrimination and how everybody should get the same result, or, everybody should be getting equal pay for equal work and all that sort of thing. It's like, well.
So that would be more like economic justice warriors.
Yes, economic justice warriors. Like socialists, it doesn't quite care, whether men or women. It's just, hey, the different classes rather than, it's the poor versus the rich is the socialist perspective. So yes, that would be an economic social justice or economic justice warrior. Social justice is based more on intrinsic categories, like, oh, you are black, or you're a woman, or you're Asian, or you're disabled, or you're you know, a lesbian, you're a member of the LGBT, and you're also black, and you're also a Muslim, and so therefore you're, you know, like you're this super extremely oppressed category, and you need to make sure that you're no longer oppressed and that you're getting the same result as everybody else
Get
who
closer
isn't
to your mic. You're
a
breaking up.
me.
Yeah, get
Oh.
closer to your mic. You were breaking
So-
up right there.
Yeah, so saying like the lesbian or the LGBT black Muslim is like this super oppressed category, and the social justice warriors are thinking that person is so oppressed they need to get the same outcome as someone who is, say, a white man who is heterosexual. They should both have the same outcomes, and if there's a disparity in the outcome, then that means one group is being oppressed, and we need to fix that. That's their mentality. So
Right.
I don't think you can be an intersectional feminist without being a social justice warrior.
Okay.
Although typically when you're talking about social justice warrior, it's like the blue-haired feminist with piercings that is overweight, that is reading
Kind of
in
like Big
the-
Red.
Yeah, and setting trash cans on fire and throwing them at buildings. Yeah, that's, I mean, there's example of social justice warriors doing that, but that's not what makes a social justice warrior a social justice warrior. Social justice warrior is anybody who fights for equal outcomes based on race or gender or sexuality.
Red Feather says in the chat, yes, there are already laws that don't allow discrimination. Duh. You can be a brain surgeon just because they need to fill a quota. Who cares if you know what you're doing? I'm surprised it didn't make Buzz Aldrin a disabled trans black woman in First Man.
I mean,
the last thing that I read that made me think of Battlefield 5, of how they're like
Yeah, I
putting
was about to
in
say.
a cyborg pirate females in that game.
yeah, if the
I mean,
producers
screw
of Battlefield
historical
5
accuracy.
were making the First Man, they would have definitely made Buzz Aldrin they would have put him in a hijab and made him a disabled black woman. That
Right. I think I'm going to wrap up this stream pretty soon. Was there something that you two wanted to say? Either of you two?
Not really. The fact that if anybody wants to watch me stream, I'd be doing that right after this. I stream on Twitch under the same name as on here. So
Yeah, RK2K Dragon on Twitch. Follow him on there. He isn't very active on his YouTube channel, just FYI, everybody. Humane Mind, he's active at least on a weekly basis on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe to his channel and hit the bell notification button to get notified of when that he'll have a stream. They're
Yeah.
sometimes interesting and thought-provoking, but sometimes they can be absolute, utter shout-fest shit shows.
Yeah, so I do weekly streams every Tuesday, usually around 4, or usually we start between 4 and 5 p.m. Central Time. I don't have a specific set time because it depends on when other people are available most of the time or when I'm available. But I try to talk about things from a philosophical point of view. So even though we do talk about topics of the day, but usually I try to keep them around a central theme relating back to philosophy, which if you're not familiar with the philosophy, I keep saying philosophy is not teaching people what to think. Philosophy is teaching people how to think. And so I think that's more important than like, oh, hey, there's this one issue and you're thinking about it wrong. Is like, well, how do you prove that you're thinking about it wrong or that it's being misrepresented? Because you have to understand the framework or the underlying principles behind something, which is where philosophy comes in.
All right, and that's all I have to say. If there was anybody else that wanted to join this stream before I had went off air, sorry, but it is getting kind of late here on Sunday night, and I have work in the morning. There's some other things that I want to do before I go to bed and start the work day tomorrow, and so on and so forth. But anyway, I am the Dark Conservatarian. This has been Humane Mind and RK2K Dragon. Sorry, Mjolnir Man, that you weren't able to get a good connection. But yeah, that's all I have to say. This has been the Dark Cancer, and see you all later, and God bless.